bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit.
Hello everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, Warrior of Love, and we are in Soul Talk podcast. And today we have a special invite that I'm gonna learn a lot from her because I am very newbie, so and maybe many if you have any questions regarding crystals, minerals, and all those kind of things, just write it down in the comments, please. And Anna, hopefully, she can answer all of them. And if not, well, we can Google it. We can figure it out. That's how I've been doing
Figure it out together.
at least 50 years of my life. So, but I want to learn more. And Kelly says we have an invite. She says, Kelly Weaver, excited to be here. Me too, Kelly. Believe
Welcome,
me.
Kelly. Welcome to the show.
And it's really, really my pleasure to have you here. And I've been following you for a while. I've been buying your crystals for a while. They're very, very good quality, and I love her. And something that I learned from you, and making so many mistakes buying crystals everywhere, because I haven't been following you for 50 years, and I have a
Right.
big collection of crystals. I have bought fakes, and and people, we see it, we don't know better, and we do those kind of mistakes. They sell us Moldavite, and very cheap, and we think that's the real deal, and no, it is not. After you got the real thing, and if you like crystals, you learn how to read energy and feel energy. And in the moment you get the fake Moldavite with the good Moldavite, it is completely different energy that emanates both of them. But you already bought it. You already invested in something that it really do not worth. And I was very in a life of Anna that where she was teaching all this, and that's when I asked her, "Hey, we need to talk in podcast because many people are doing the same mistake that I have done many times." And I'm so glad that you accept this invite for this podcast, Anna.
Glad to be here. So I would say the top three things to look out for, and I do. First off, I do crystal talk every other Friday. So it's the second and last Fridays of the month, and then I'm live every Tuesday on my business page where I teach and sell and have fun, do auctions and quizzes. It's a good time. I'm not your average crystal seller. So to get to your question, the main thing people should look out for are three main things. If you're buying online, if they don't have a website, they don't have an Etsy, they don't have a Facebook store, an Instagram store, anywhere at Google where you can look for reviews, don't buy. Just don't buy. You know, if it sounds too good to be true, most of the time it is. So with that being said, and try to tune in, to things like this as much as you can to learn. There's a lot of crystal pop-up sellers, and sometimes they don't even know what they have, and sometimes they're told something when it's something else. And it didn't happen for me right away. Luckily, I have friends, that know crystals and different things like that. But when crystals took over my life, it was kind of like baptism by fire, and I learned quick. And I have pretty good retention when it comes to things. And, there's plenty of things out there, YouTube, books. The Book of Stones is one you should definitely get if someone wants to drop it in the comments. Also, the other thing, if someone doesn't have, any kind of reviews, it's a no-brainer. Don't buy, And the second thing to do to not get hung up is, if you see bad reviews, pay attention to them. They're there for a reason. I mean, if you have two bad ones out of 50, it's disgruntled people, whatever, stuff happens. But just pay attention and look at their page. You know, like crystals are my life. I love crystals. So it doesn't bother me to talk about it 24/7. You know what I mean? And I love it. Another thing, you know, if you ask the question on a live feed and they can't answer it, it's another good indication. Like, where is it from? When was it mined? Things like that. Then you know, people worry about getting, let me get my water. People worry about getting energetically drained crystals and all this kind of things, and ethically sourced crystals, and all that can be found right in the About You pages for folks.
Oh, thank
But
you.
more importantly, the reviews. The reviews are what you want to look for. And that's really it. You know, so many folks, you know, they just buy something on what's called the um, it's just a couple different things, but they're clickbaits, they're traps. You know, one is called a click funnel. So when you're scrolling through YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of it, they somehow kind of know what you're talking about. And if you're a crystal lover, they'll throw someone up there, and you know, it you don't know what you're getting. You know, it could be someone that got some Moldavite and it might not be real, or you know, unless you're dealing with someone who actually loves stones as well, you know, that's another indication. You know that some, you know, they're in it more for money than the love of the stones.
Start make us a favor that she's sharing in the comments the book, guys. If you want to know more about the stones, thank you, Star, very much, and thank you everybody
Thank you, sir.
that is seeing here. Leonora, Ahmed,
It's my
Star.
girls.
Yes, is your girls, and
Yep.
Sarah. Wow, we have a lot of these listeners today, and I wanted to ask you, what it makes you go into crystals? Because we all love crystals. Well, not all, but many of us we love crystals. But what it makes you actually to get really wet and really learn your craft because you really know your craft.
Well, I'm a little bit of an overachiever, but um, so what had happened was life took some wild turns, you know, and I ended up selling my tattoo parlor in Maryland. And in my tattoo parlor, I always carried crystal body jewelry and crystal rings and sterling silvers and knives, besides like tattoo and piercing stuff. You know, my showroom was pretty, you know, eclectic. And a lot of things happened, and I moved to the beach without going into a dissertation. Both my parents passed. I beat uterine cancer. I switched and moved to another state, sold my business, and I didn't know what was next. And then it came to me, kind of in meditation, forced meditation on chemo on the couch. I was actually watching someone. Um, I started my business on a resentment a little bit, but it was like, you know, she sold oils and incense and tapestries and calls herself a goddess and all these other things. And I'm like, I sell all this in my tattoo parlor, and I'm, you know, I know what you're paying for it. I cannot believe that you're charging this stuff, right? So I was like, that's when I knew what my next step was. I'm gonna open up a shop that helped me through my spiritual journey, which is a very long, long conversation. You know, incense and deities, wall art, crystal healing instruments. Um, during COVID and before and pre-COVID, I was doing remote sound because I love to hear crystals sing through quartz instruments and aquamarine, different stuff. And that was part of my online store. But there was so much. There was crystal pendants, crystal bracelets, raw crystal shaman sacks, but not like now. The crystals took over. You know, it went from human condition gifts to Anna Mae Minerals. And how that happened was, I had a storefront and a website. When a friend of mine gave me channeled harmony, she gave me a crystal healing, and it kind of catapulted into this other thing. man, I don't know how to really explain it, but I started researching crystals and I couldn't stop buying, uh, you know, and then like people started wanting them and then they wanted the stuff that I found. And after I found my niche was like crystals called me more than I did them. I think a couple years of playing crystal instruments and my tattoo parlor was a little different as well. My third floor was my own office full of oils and books and crystal instruments and uh and I did guided breath meditation up there. So I've always been on the cusp, but coming into my sound after getting better and having life knock me around, I knew I was supposed to open up an online shop. I just didn't know what it would become. It kind of took me. It's a neat story. I became obsessed. So, people would think I've been at crystals like 20 some years or something, at the level and depth with which I am, but I've only really been probably 3 years. But in those 3 years, when I say the crystals took me, some of my homies that are on here watched me start selling more and more and more and more crystals. And then COVID happened and it forced me to focus on just my website. And then I started going live with crystal sales and I didn't have time to do sound because it blew up over COVID because I
Yes,
had
I did
I
not
had
knew that.
I have tons of, like, I had vegan soaps and oils and incense, and I was shipping way faster than Amazon. So word of mouth and just me doing sound for free kind of tossed it all up into this. One day I woke up with a lot of orders, the next day more, and then the next day more. And then people were asking, can I look at your stuff via videos? And then I was like, well, I could just go live. And then I have a VIP group, and then I have an Instagram and a Pinterest and a TikTok and all of it. And I have people helping me and I'm hiring people and I know that I love finding crystals, and
I
I,
have
I,
seen you
I,
for.
and I love my industry and I don't want people to just dump into it with, a lot of stuff that you were talking about. Sorry, I went on a dissertation. Go ahead.
I have seen you also doing crystal hunting that I have done in Arkansas, and it was one of the more enjoying things that I have done. Of course, I brought up big quartz from Arkansas that I dig out, and that's why I know how fun it is doing that. And and you don't only go do that. You were saying about the crystal balls, and the other day is the first time I actually saw you doing that. I met you about 2 years ago. That's when I started buying your crystals and things like that. But I never imagined that you actually play. I
Yeah.
met, I met through your Leonora that she have
Right.
her beautiful crystal
Yeah.
ball,
Yeah. That's my
and I
shaman sister. Yeah.
and I always wonder where she bought them and where she got the little triangle, the little pyramids, crystal, and and finally when I saw that you were selling it, like, oh, she got it from here. Like, okay, let me put attention. Leonora always have very good people that I should put attention to it, and that's when I started following you.
Yeah. And,
But
and, and that's, uh, well, I didn't. So I had to, believe it or not, I don't do well usually on these live things. And I was pushed by a fellow named Jeff Gutsky, and I'm sure he'll catch the replay. Um, who's like, Anna, if you're just yourself and you're authentically you and whatever, because I hide behind my bowls, it's a little bit easier. But I started coming out, and then I had private sessions. But Lenora, she spent a small fortune in the past 2 years with me getting all her crystal instruments. And I don't sell them anymore for two simple things. One is I have room now, but I don't. And the second one is I can't verify where they're coming from. So I had a guy that made them in Brazil, and then I was getting wholesale through CVNC, and then CVNC changed their uh, labeling to Asian, and I didn't like the quality, so I stopped carrying. And that's kind of, my niche as well. Being pretty blunt about the truth. When I figure it out, I tell you, and just keeping things straight because
yeah,
there's a lot of hustlers out there in the crystal rock world.
yes, I have one that it looks like like I'm terrible with that amethyst, and I bought it, and 2 days later it just became white. Like, okay, this is why I bought it when someone that you don't trust.
Yeah, that's a little strange, but yeah.
No, not this one. One of the stones that I have over there. Like, wow, okay, it's white quartz, and that's what I was gonna ask you, because we tend, a lot of us, we tend to clean our crystals in different ways, and that can affect them if we don't do it in the right way. Like the amethyst, I learned in the hard way after I ruined several of my amethysts, put it in the sun.
There is no wrong way. I just did that on Mythbusters this week on my episode.
Oh,
There is people, they read and they have memes, and it's different ways to sell stuff. But the molecular structure of a crystal is crystal. It is a rock, a mineral, a crystal, all the same, because a rock becomes crystalline, which then it becomes crystal, and then it becomes a crystal, or it's a tektite, so that's glass. I mean, there's different things, but there is no wrong way. When a crystal enters your auric field, your energy field, it shifts it. We are not powerful enough, us water, blood, bone, body beings, to affect the crystal. The crystal repels negativity. So to say it has to be cleansed, unless you're a healer, or unless you use your crystals specifically for things, and most crystal healers will let you have the crystals from the session, because unless you're using the crystals for direct healing, you can't do anything. If
but
you let a human being touch your crystal who has bad energy, it's going to repel it. You
but there's
see?
but
So
there's
there's a lot of ritual that is not necessary scientifically. There's, you know, they
but what I was meaning that
say
you
bury your crystals and take it to the moon, or, go ahead.
one of the things that I noticed with the amethyst, when you put it in the sun, it becomes white.
Well,
I
yeah, amethyst
Yes,
is one of those. It's a molecular structure. Okay, so quartz, you can put it in the sun. The only thing that'll happen is over time with barometric pressure as well, you'll get cracks in clear quartz. Sometimes they can bust. If the sun is on them long enough, they can pop. Amethyst will fade. There's a few kind of crystals that will fade. Now, if you take extreme heat to amethyst, it doesn't fade it, it turns it yellow, and people sell it as quartz. I mean, citrine. When, that burnt thing is just quartz, and I mean, burnt is citrine, just burnt amethyst. They, it's heat treated, and sometimes people sell it as real citrine. So there's a lot of different things, but one thing for me, I feel like people get crazy about, they miss the full moon, now their crystals aren't going to work. Or people, that you can only use crystals that go with your zodiac sign. I don't know what the hell. We need to cancel that. We need to cancel all
yeah.
those crazy, weird beliefs that these kids are coming out with memes and TikToks. It's just not real,
When I
you
was
know?
talking about cleaning the crystals, I was not talking about because you can do it only with your energy. Uh,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
what I was talking, it was more about like the amethyst. That if you like the purple color, beautiful, is like don't put it in the sun.
Yeah,
Because,
there are, okay, so there's certain ones that you don't put in the sun. There's certain stuff that doesn't go in water, like the ice, like barite, malachite, things of most hardness level. And all this is a lot's been discussed in some of my streams. And I like for folks to know that, and they'd like to know the kind of stuff. So it helps you make better decisions. Also online, some people, like, they can't feel it energetically. So when you're at Etsy, you can't really feel it. A live sale, you can interact a little bit more. But I also say to folks, go support your local rock sellers and witchy shops. There's plenty of stuff out there. And you know, if you can't connect energetically through a live, sometimes, online isn't for you unless you know the seller, or if, so for me, like, I'll put all of my new stuff on a TikTok so people can see it and they kind of know what's going in the shop, you know. Just being communicative also with your buyers, and just being open about all of the things. but some of the stuff that goes around, you know, there is, and that's what I mean. Google's helpful, but really just get a basic, you know, book on crystals. I mean, I can show you guys my library, and you can screenshot. You know, you learn. I learned baptism by fire. Let me see. I don't know if I can turn this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. I sure can. Oh, copy streaming link, cancel. I don't know if I can turn it around, but let me go ahead and show you guys. So like this is an amethyst scepter, and it's on a bookshelf, and of course I'm not gonna, put it in the sun, but quartz can go. But let's get back to it. So the Book of Stones is very good for metaphysical stuff. The Ultimate Guide to Grids is great for energy stuff. 101 Crystals, Powerful Crystals, Judy Hall is a surprising read. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing those right. But I'll come back and you can take a screenshot. Anything by Beatty, um, the Melody Stone books, she basically, the Melody Stone is named after Super 7, but she is very thorough. Crystal medicine. I mean, just familiarize yourself with books that you can read and would want to read, and then
And you
what
were
I did was I listened to people like me on YouTube, which I don't have YouTube yet, but listen to people who are excited about it and telling the truth and being honest about crystal industry and our industry in general.
you were showing the other day in your live. Remember that we have some spectators that are following you, and some of them they it's the first time they're having interaction with you. They haven't seen your lives, and the ones they're gonna see later on in my YouTube channel. Also, that hopefully later on they get to know you. So I know you have done many lives, and you teach in them, and you're gonna have new spectators in there. So I wanted to ask you, you were showing in the last one that I was there live when you did the crystal ball singing. Oh, it was beautiful.
Mhm.
The tarot that you have with crystals, and they show you for what is this and what is that, and that was a very good one to also to learn about crystals, because flashcards, I don't know, I learned from flashcards, guys. So it's that will be very helpful for all of us
Yeah,
to.
it was one of my suggestions for sure to just like how I taught myself was if you do a reading every day with your crystal deck, you're gonna become familiar, and then you're gonna fall in love with crystals you didn't know you needed, and then you're gonna be like, oh, that's why I bought that intuitively. Then everything starts to make sense. But if you don't educate yourself
Yes, that one.
and you only listen to people on different media streams, it really depends who grabs you and why. Some of the stuff that's going on out there is not it's not all on the up and up. So but a lot of it is, there's a lot of great sellers. I really, really, I can't say it enough, support your local rock sellers, crystal shops, witchy shops.
But
And then
something
if you're fortunate enough to be in like Midwest, Southwest, and all the rock hounds, you
But
know,
something that I will say to you, Anna, being a buyer of crystals, I do collect many crystals, and it also I came to understand that it depends who much who sell the crystal, because the crystals charge energy, and you can feel the energy where the seller and so forth. And like personally, I there's a local shop where I used to go, but the energy in there was very mixed with black magic and things like that. And every time you buy a crystal from there, it's like, oh my god, you feel like, oh, I need to clean this beautiful thing that I just bought, this beautiful crystal, but from tons of all the crap that was around that crystal from the store it was there, collecting all those energies in that place. So it do depend much who you're buying from too. And that's something that I just stopped buying from them a while back. Maybe that's when I met you, when I was like, I'm not gonna buy in here anything
yeah,
anymore. Weird
yeah.
things happen in the house. It's like no more from there. And that's when I met you. So it do depends too much on the person who you're buying from, what kind of energy they're carrying and so forth. And you have a beautiful energy in there, where I believe I would recommend you all the time, and I do recommend you all the time because you you're very fair in your prices, and not only in that, you give a lot of teachings from there, and you're not doing dirty stuff.
Yeah,
You're not mixing that kind of energy. Personally, I don't agree. I respect the free
yeah,
will of everybody, and that's the thin line between the dark and the light. The free will, respecting the free will of everybody.
yeah.
That is me. I respect everybody, but I would not buy crystals from someone that is mixing energies. In my personal, is fair. My, in my ambient, I don't want that.
Sure.
And I don't know everybody in that way, but it's their choice. And bring it to that. I all the time by my students, they always ask me, "What is the best crystal for protection?" I have a very short knowledge of crystals. What would you suggest to them?
Protection is easy. I mean, automatically everybody wants to say black tourmaline, and that's correct. Um, Black tourmaline is the best protector. But a lot has to be said for the placement of the tourmaline on your person, and then some folks like to keep it at their front door. Um, I have a beautiful raw piece that I keep on my dash in my van. It's beautiful when the sun hits it. It's about placement as well as intention, and then there's plenty of really good crystals for protection. It depends on protection from what and perceived protection. There's but more tourmaline, but here's the thing: when you think about going back to what you said about, someone who practices dark magic and the crystals are in the energy, know that crystals are crystalline. And unless the crystal was uh, programmed and or something like that, it's hard. I believe crystals don't need cleansing. They in a sense where they deflect negativity. They they vibrate at such a high frequency that it works our cell phones. It keeps time on watches. It runs TVs. The piezoelectric energy, we're not that, as mostly water and bone. You know, we're not that powerful. So to say that we can alter something like that, I can tell you that if you came to my house, for instance, people who are not used to crystal energy, I have a few thousand pounds out in my thing, and then I have hundreds of pounds in my personal collection. So it's this house, it's like a vortex. Time is faster. It's hard to have a bad day. Um, I mean, it's you have to know. Like I'm one of them. I believe in the crystal energy. I'll never say crystal will heal this or do that. Yes, tourmaline for protection, malachite. It filters all of that. You know, hematite, copper, quartz for a kicker. I mean, I could go on and on and on. All of it, all of it. Some things are better than others, but crystalline energy, and how I do is I try to align them by chakras and colors. So high vibrational crystals, what I call high vibe, things like danburite, Aussie opals, herkimers, and Moldavite, Libyan desert glass, and phenakite, synergy 12 stuff. You let them hang together. Your happy crystals, your amethyst, your rose quartz, your citrine, your fadens, and then your quartz, and then selenite to amplify everything else. And then depending on what it is you want, lepidolite for mood, and lithium. Literally, lepidolite has more lithium than you could ever imagine naturally. When it comes into your auric field, you don't have to ingest it to feel the benefits.
I have heard that some quartz, I don't know about, you're the expert. Uh, I heard that some quartz or crystals cannot be together with other ones, that are a bad combination. Which ones they can be together? Or
I
this,
mean,
together.
So there is something called crystal chaos, and I experienced it by not by any kind of book, by baptism by fire. So my bedroom, my living room, and office, and even bathroom all had to be rotated numerous times to get the right crystal. So what I found was I like to keep leveling and focusing crystals, low vibration and grounding in my living room. Everyone feels peaceful, happy things. We got citrine, we got apatite, we got oach and jasper, we got lemurians. Everything's beautiful, but it wasn't always that way. I learned through putting high vibe and low vibe and mixing up. And in my bedroom, I had a high vibe where I could chill. So now behind my bed is like scolecite and all these kinds of things, but it takes time to figure it out. And everybody's auric field is a little different in how the crystal resonates with you. That's why you take it in. You take it into your fold and your energy in your home, and it really will tell you where it wants to go. Believe it,
One of my favorites is the Moldavite.
Mhm.
Personally, if I've, beside of my dreams are wild, and I like to put it under my.
Sorry to interrupt. I gotta just let the dog out, but go ahead. I can hear your question.
I beside of my dreams are wild, and I like that personally. Then I put it under my pillow, and time to time they disappear. It's like okay, and then suddenly appear again. It is a really magical trip with the Moldavite, and
Yeah,
it helped me go through different stages in my own transformation that I am passing through. If I'm not believing enough in myself, they're gonna front me to certain
yeah,
situations that I will have to believe in myself, or I will have to affront certain fears or certain things. And that's why that's one of my personal is the Moldavite is amazing. It is, but it's very very expensive.
yeah. I
And
got some good Moldavite stories. I mean, Moldavite is a rascal. It disappears and comes back again. It shows up in people's lives, like finding them on sidewalks or, I mean, in kirtans, different places, then losing them the same day. And I've had my own experience with Moldavite. I've lost it in the ocean. I've lost. I mean, and then I've thought I've lost it in the house. Then it pops back up in strange places. But Moldavite is a tektite, so it's a really old space glass, and the only place it comes from is the Czech Republic. And of course, anything with space, high frequency, it comes in and it hit Earth, compacted, and took all the millions of years and things like that to become its silicon self. But it's like it was used, and just like turquoise and other gems and rares, all the way back, Egypt, you know,
someone is saying that I wanna
Moldavite was
I
used
wanna
as
to buy one.
weapons, the glass.
Someone was saying that they want to buy one. I just wanted to make you aware, guys. I have bought Moldavite super cheap, and it was not Moldavite. It was imitation Moldavite. It was you can feel it right away. It's not the real thing. Buy it from someone that actually that have high ratings, like Anna. I my Moldavite that I bought two before Anna. I bought the imitation, and then when I met Anna, I bought mine for Anna, and it's very different energy. And the one that do tricks on me and is wonderful is the one I bought from Anna. The other one is a
Those
nice,
tricks.
yeah. The other one, just a nice glass, piece of glass, basically. That
Yeah, so I did a live about that, and the three things for Moldavite or any crystal really is if it looks wet in the picture, like wet, like plastic, or they have to wet the mineral to make it shine. Uh, the bubbles are telltale, or telltale. Uh, the bubbles in glass Moldavite, and um,
and where
when
is coming
you
from?
hold it, it's green in your hand, and when you hold it up, it's green. Moldavite, when you hold it in your hand, is dark, and when you hold it up, it's a pale green that you can it time, but but Moldavite is it's faked a lot. Another one that is faked a lot is citrine, quartz, um, regular quartz gets faked. But there's master malachite. I was on a wholesale lime stream not even 4 hours ago, where a fella was selling malachite for a lot of kilo, and I said that looks like chrysocolla and malachite are 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 worse but fake. And he assured me, no way, no way. And I'm like, crack one open. And he was giving me a hard time because I don't think he knew. Yes, malachite. I don't
I,
think he knew. But
I bought
anyway, he cracked it open and was white inside. And I was like, bro, you got beat. And I was able to tell that on a live, and that was just today. So time, and knowing what to look for and educate, tune into shows like this. Go to my group. My group is teaching and fun, and my lives. I teach as I sell. Um, and I love it. And some people really don't know if they're getting bad stuff. And I buy the crystals, find me, and I buy in bulk where I can offer a good price, fair market value, even better. Insane auctions. I have a lot of fun doing what I do, and with the kind of profit margin that crystal sellers make, I do give away like 250 stuff, a lot, $250 or more, alive, every live, because you got to give it away to keep it. That's the principle. Anything,
Hey, beautiful
kindness,
star.
love,
Can you put
crystals.
a star? Can you make me a favor and put the link of the group of Anna, or someone can put me the link of Anna?
Yeah, the stars got all that. My link tree that has all of my stuff there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe I put the link tree is in the description box, but if you wanna go into the group where she's having her auctions, that I highly recommend because you can get very very good deals in there. Bought
Oh
my
yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, guys.
I just got my new set for love, money, and success. Oh,
Oh, was the three intentions you want it with your crystals? Yeah.
yes, I did. From Anna. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to see what you got there, but
yeah. And I'm bad, terrible at remembering the names or for what it is. This each one.
that appears to be an angel or point.
I thought it was this one.
That's opalite.
Oh, polite. And this is clear quartz.
Oh, yeah. Faden quartz, manifestor stone. Faden quartz, yeah. I would have to see them in a picture. Oh, snowflake obsidian.
Yes, and of course for love, pink quartz.
Yeah, rose quartz.
That one I never fail. But yes, guys, I highly recommend Joanna.
I
And
appreciate that.
and which one would you recommend to people if they want to transform their lives? Because everybody is, of course, in the transition, the ascension. We're in ascension time, and it, some of them people are ready for transmuting fears and pains and trauma, and some of them they're too afraid that they're not ready for that. Which quartz or crystal would you recommend?
Well, for very quick transformation, almost like a little bit of a forced shadow work, level up type is always Moldavite. But if you're wanting to walk in and step into your shadow self softly, some smoky, uh, astrophyllolite, uh, hematite for grounding, prophecy stone. If you're wanting more of social things and focus, and success and stuff like fluorite, citrine, ametrine, apatite, stuff like that. But for, I mean, there's, crystals can only guide. So with,
Yeah.
without, because I'm not ever going to say, you'll never hear me say crystals are all, because they're not. Crystals can assist just like a
But
can
you could do
assist.
the work.
A life coach can assist until you get ready.
Yes.
I'll put it to you like this. Moldavite brought some stuff up for me that I wasn't ready to deal with. So I would have it on a week, take it off 3 months. I wouldn't even have it in the same room with me for a while. Now I've done my work. I wear Moldavite and Libyan desert glass, always, and so many other things.
Yes, but I
But
do agree.
initially it was a little too much. So that's a longer conversation. But at the same time, get gut level honest with yourself. If people want a crystal to cure this or bring love, and I mean, of course, calcite's like a warm hug. Rose quartz is like a loving, and it's not just romantic, it's all relationships. Hey, I'm doing a podcast, guys. Can we knock it off? Come here, please.
But I do agree with you. I am a coach, and I do tell that to my clients because they want to resolve everything with quartz or with stones and
Crystals are one part, they can be a catalyst, but to sustain, reach out to your community, build community, and find the things for yourself.
what I
Go to a local crystal store, feel the energies, pick a stone, and then learn about it later and find out why you love it. Or if you're on a live sale, do the same.
but
It's
also
such a beautiful journey,
But
you
also
know.
let's go back to the Moldav. Well, and the Moldavite is where I have seen more stuff. Like it's gonna you are working with your own fears, and you're working with and you're having a Moldavite. You're working with a Moldavite. You're gonna be affronted to your fears, and you're not gonna be able to escape so easy. You will have to affront your fear, or believing in yourself, or whatever it is. You have to do the work. The stone is not gonna do it for you. The stone is not gonna
That's
put you
correct.
on a
Right.
shield. You
It can
have
assist, like rhodonite can assist and help with bruising. Okay, it's just like any other cold compress, and then it has the mineral of the drawing of the blood, you know. So, I mean, it's so many different stones. They can always assist, but it's never a cure.
yes.
And the magic as you grow your relationship with your stones, like, you know, um, I have an individual relationship with all my stones, especially the ones on my headboard. So it takes time to figure out where they belong in the mix, and they will let you know. And it is an energetic thing. It's definitely an energetic thing. And when people too much, and for the people in the back, pay attention to this one. People too much look for answers outside themselves
Yes,
when they're inside.
yes,
So if you get a Lemurian record keeper, meditate with it. Don't ask someone, what does this mean? Don't ask 18 different or 80, a group where you get 80 different energies, because it means different things to everyone. It's a very personal experience. And these people that sell like crystal classes and intuition and all these other things, you can't just tell people what I'm telling them, the truth. It's very personal, you know, and get with someone who knows crystals, you know,
I
that
agree.
that loves crystals for the sake of loving them, not for the money they can make.
I do agree. The biggest protection that I tell my clients, yes, you can buy any of these crystals that we were talking for protection. But like I tell my clients, the best protection you can have is open your heart and send love. And that's inside. Then you can have the stone if you feel like it or you want to. It will help you, but the biggest protection is inside of you. It's not outside. It's you have to do
Exactly. So
the inner work.
Tourmaline has vibration, but you are your own superhero. Like if you I don't even give energy to negative energy, so it can't touch me. People are like, it's so bizarre how you can cut energies, but the thing is I'm at this age, if it's not going to help me grow, why? I won't do it. It's not worth my time or energy, not even a breath of thought. Knock it off, you two. Doing a podcast. Like, seriously, can you play tug of war another time? But it's really like that. You know, it's very, and you just know that like nothing negative can touch you because you don't invite it. You don't live a world that it can step into. You know, Lagatha, Freya, that's enough.
It's like I
Come
told
here.
a lot of my clients, it's like, let's say you want to hang a painting. A crystal will be like having a hammer and a nail. You can put a nail and you can grab a rock, or you can grab your shoe, or you can try your finger, whatever book or whatever, to put the nail in the wall. Or you can grab the hammer and do it. The thing
Right.
is like depends on what is your purpose. It's just tools that help you, but it's not the solution of your problems. You have to
Like
work.
I
Oops.
one of my crystal alchemist friends made me numerous channeled harmony again, pyramids with scolocite and different, organite with copper or conduits, and I have my own all lower vibrational crystals right there, chevron for groovy dreams, and it's just a nice mix, you know. But the chamomile tea helps, the melatonin helps, and the crystal vibe, and not letting static affect me. Like the news is propaganda. Even I mean, it really is. And I stay educated, but I won't go into that dissertation. But I don't let negativity in. It's almost like when you live in a crystal cave, everything shifts. It's wild, you know. Like I intuitively just stopped with the propaganda. I don't allow negative stuff into my space.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know.
I have let go many friends because of the same reason. Is you have to start learning how to protect yourself. Quartz crystals can help,
Mhm.
but that's not the solution for everything. Well, it's not the solution. It's just tools. Like,
More tools, like
yes, you
it
can grab
surely
a,
does help.
you can
When
get a
I if I
sticky.
forget to wear fluorite because I have extreme I'll just call it ADHD. I have a hard time focusing, and I have probably like 50 pounds of fluorite in my living room, just different everywhere because I
Different.
swear, and I wear it on me always. You know, and it definitely, like, you'll learn what crystals help you in your energy. Like, yes, fluorite's good for focus. Copper's a conduit. Hematite's good for grounding. Prophecy stone, tiger's iron, these kinds of things. For third crown, there's stones, but they're all, the alchemy of the stones is very important. You talked about not putting certain energies with, so there is, yes, to answer that way late, yes, there is a such thing as crystal chaos, but I think it's more in us than it is, but it is common sense to put. So if you put like a Nambian amethyst scepter with a Czechoslovakian Moldavite with a Russian serpentine that came from Gaia, but thousands of miles apart, and they're all different energies for different things. It's not. You'll know that your crystals aren't happy. You will literally intuitively move them, and you'll do it. So if you're already moving your crystals around a lot, that's good because you're figuring out where they belong and feel good with each other. And what you're going to find, it's kind of based on vibration. And vibration for me is kind of like Mohs hardness, same kind of thing. But you know, it's kind of neat in my house. I mean, you lose space and time. It's wild. It's a real thing.
And
Just ask my friends.
something that I do with my crystals, I bought a crystal ball a while back, and I asked her directly, "What is your name?" Because all of them, they will answer you back, whatever you wanna communicate and so forth. They will answer you back if you're open to that. And it is wonderful when you start having these amazing conversations with each one of your quartz or crystals. they want to communicate, like all your guides and whatever, they also want to communicate with you.
Same, yeah.
Apply for the quartz and stones.
Or sometimes it's just of even a feeling,
Yeah,
it's not even words. Like to
exactly.
me, crystals talking, well, I feel them. It's a feeling. It's an exchange. And I handle hundreds of pounds of crystals, and not a lot of them end up in my personal collection because I know they're supposed to go somewhere. And I'm not sure who, but I know it's not me. And when a crystal does call, it is different. And I've had call to me on lives. When I'm on wholesalers' lives, I have bought ridiculous things for my personal collection because they called to me, you know. Um, so it is a dialogue, and for me, it's more of an energetic, and it's no words necessary because you intuitively dance with the energy of the crystal, or at least that's where I'm at. I don't know.
I have to ask you this question because before that I bought crystals online, I used to go directly to the store and put it in my hand to see if I feel them. If not, I put it back and I grab another one until I feel which one is what's going to come with me.
That's
But
a great way to do it.
but now that I
Really
buy
good way.
online, uh, you don't put it in your hand. You are in a way trusting the person that is gonna send you the crystal, that crystal is gonna be for you because you're not gonna even see it. You may see it once in a while, but like the ones I just bought you. I just told you I want for money, love, and success, and that's it. And I trust you that you were gonna look for the quartz or the crystals that they were gonna be for me. And when they arrive, we have that conversation, the crystals and me, and we make
Yeah.
that connection, and they feel right. They feel like, okay, if probably if I was in the store of Anna, I would put it in my hand, and they were the ones that were gonna come with me. How that happened? Did
Um,
you connect with each person that buy you? And like when you ask, like, want it for money, love, and success, or whatever,
um,
or
well, knowing kind of it's my job now, and for 3 years I haven't breathed, and I'm just starting to breathe. Like the crystals took me over, so I know a lot of metaphysical properties, but sometimes I get so jumbled in my head, like I'm live looking at citrine, calling it bumblebee japser, because I have so much going through my head. The crystals, there's so many different kinds. So to answer your question, um, I would say, how does that happen? I feel like it's piezoelectric. You're a living, warm, energetic being, you know, and crystals have a conscience. And I don't, sometimes they may talk direct, but more for me, it's always a feeling, and they're being on earth for a reason. And that reason is to help and guide and just like tools, but the most divine magic tools from Gaia. And how it happens, it's the same way you intuitively, as a kid, want to lay on the earth and look at the sky. The earth has a heartbeat, and the sky, that there's something way, 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 way bigger than us out there. Before we got jaded, before our minds start compartmentalizing. Crystals bring that out. I have some ladies who collect that can't get around so much anymore, and they love knowing where it's from. Some clients even like when I leave the dirt on the stuff because it's dirt from another country because they don't get to travel. I mean, crystals are different things for everybody, you
yeah.
know. Um, and that's the magic of them. And people who like to say, well, they don't work, you know, go watch one of my episodes. I did a whole shebang on it. It's just not true. If it didn't, you wouldn't get that feeling that you just spoke about. It's soul dance, an energetic dance between you and your crystal. Sometimes, like when I grab certain crystals, it's like a warm hug. Sometimes it's like a shock, you know, um, like a funny bone thing. But then a smirk, a soul smile, very big, you know. Um, Carnelian might seem like a warm hug for some people. What it does for me is motivates me, you know. Uh, Moldavite may people panicky. For me, it kind of like forced some stuff. I mean, it's definitely an energetic thing. And they're all different, and we're all different. So it's going to be different experience. So anyone says, as a matter of fact, this, and that will help with that. When someone says, this is my experience, that lepidolite, larimar, amethyst, and scolecite are probably the best thing you can do for a depressed, grieving friend, where other people will say, no, black agate and this and that. You know, that's why there's many different authors and many different books, but I only stick to a couple because I only respect a couple.
Yes.
And the people that I like are more feelers like myself.
Oh, and I really thank what you do. And would you like to add something else before we close?
Um, yeah, you know, guys, come on through to the lives. It's on Anna Mae Minerals, Facebook, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week we're doing cauldrons and Halloween sacks, you know, and all kinds of neat tumbles and other stuff, quizzes. And then every other Friday, I'm live in my group, Anna Mae Minerals, and that is with sound and a Q&A, which I'm going to start asking you guys in group what you would like to hear me talk about. And then I have all the things, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest. It's all Anna Mae Minerals. I'm real easy to find. I'm on every platform as Anna Mae Minerals. So, you know, TikTok's good for seeing new stock and learning. The group is good for learning and community of serious collectors, you know, energetics, star seeds, eclectics. Good group of women and men. And the YouTube is some of my sound, and I'm trying to get someone to help me. So if anyone out there understands YouTube, please help me. I will pay you. I will give you my footage and you figure it out. I just need a YouTube manager now.
I will show you how to do it, Anna.
Okay.
My
Well,
daughter,
it's
my
not
daughter
that it's a
showed me,
time thing.
my
Like I
daughter
have all
showed
this
me.
footage because Jeff told me to collect all this footage and I don't know what to do with it.
I will show you. My daughter, in that time she was 12 years old when she showed me. I don't have a clue. I will show you what I know. Not an expert completely, but hey, I share you what I know, and you find out something else, you share it with me. So,
Yeah. And that's it's kind of how we've been doing it. So, you know, if I want to figure it out, I can. It's just really having the time. Um, I was talking with a friend before the podcast, and I was like, you know, if I ever get too busy where I can't answer my clients on Messenger and right away, or in you know, in person and talk to them and hear them, I don't want to get anything,
yeah,
you know,
I know what you mean.
because yeah, I just don't. I
And
like the community that I have, and I'm glad new people are finding me all the time, and that kind of thing, and people are actually, you know, learning and doing the research for themselves before getting themselves in some trouble with crystals. So, but yeah, that's all. Just I'm Anna Mae Minerals on any platform, every platform. I do a sound and crystals, and my website is far out. I mean, the pricing is far out, and I have Etsy. I have stuff that is museum grade on Etsy to tumbles. One of my there's two pieces from the same cove of 1980s Florida that one of the agatized coral, fossil coral, 30 million year old stuff, agatized and quartzized underwater. It's in a Museum of Natural History in Tallahassee. So I have two of those pieces left, and they're on Etsy. So check out all my stuff. There's fun, even when you read the descriptions, it's fun. So I appreciate you so much uh,
oh,
inviting
Tanya,
me on and
it was
support me all these years. Your patronage is appreciated, and it was fun to do this. And if anybody has questions free to me at animeminerals@gmail.com at any time for any reason for anything.
thank you, and I really appreciate it, your coming and making time for this podcast, because hopefully more people can find you and they can find a good seller for crystals and someone that you can trust. She's the one I trust personally, and I don't buy it from everywhere after many bad experience. And tomorrow in Soul Talk we have Michael Schumann. He is founder of a system for feeding the world, and let's see what how interesting is going to be tomorrow. And on the 20th of October, I'm going to be teaching a class how to raise your standards in a relationship. And the registrations right now are open. I only have 8 spaces available. And what else do I have here? Oh, okay. And remember, this podcast survived thanks to your donations. I will appreciate any of your cooperation. The PayPal's in the description box too. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you, Anna, and I will be seeing you soon.
All right.
It's
Till
so
next time.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you,
You and
everybody.
me,
Bye bye.
we meant to be.